problem and when it was actually fixed was months. Versus, you got a lead manager who's not answering the phone. You go say, hey, lead manager, answer the phone, and I'm going to track you, and you can be getting results the next day.
Speedboat versus a battleship.
Yes.
Yeah. So talk about the difference, the gap. So you had 2 transactions, or potentially 2 transactions, right, in one weekend that had completely opposite results.
Yes. So this was within the last month. So this is what we were talking about out there. Yeah. So there through working on the company, it's been I've gotten to where there's less and less things that are happening that trying to think of exactly how I want to word this. There's less and less things that are happening that or like, oh my gosh, this is terrible, the gap between what it is and what you say it is. So we had one home that we just got that we just closed on where everything went perfect. It was 19 follow-ups. Like you go through the CRM and it's like this lead manager tried it like 7 times. Then they passed it to the other lead manager like, look, I can't get a hold of them. It was just a digital lead that came in. They never answered. It's not even like the first time they answered and said, hey, we're interested. It was they never answered. Followed up 7 times. Said, can't do it. Passed to another lead manager. They followed up 10 times. Calls, texts, voicemails, emails, all of it. Nothing. Said, hey, this one didn't work for me either. Passed it to the third lead manager. Third lead manager follows up a couple of times and finally say, actually, yeah, I'm interested in an offer. Acquisition manager goes right out and gets it under contract. Turned out to be a great deal. The day after that, I'll change it from 2 to 3 because we had another one. So it was a Friday. My one acquisition manager had started his first appointment. This is one of those you say you want 2 appointments in a day, but sometimes it works out to be more than that. So he'd started out at the very south end of my market for an appointment, probably 30 minutes from his house south. The next one, 1.5 to 2 hours further north. I think he got no-showed at this one and then no-showed at that one. Turns around, drives all the way back to the south of the market again, 2 hours, and either no-showed or one of those where you show up at the door and they're like, honestly, like, my wife scheduled this, but we're not interested, right? It's now, I think it's 3:30 or 4.
Over 3.
On a Friday.
Yeah.
Lead comes in, lead manager says, hey, we got another appointment, hour back north. This is heavy traffic time, and if any of you have been to Utah, there's one road that goes north and south. It's called I-15, right? It's not like Phoenix where you've got this beautiful working of freeways. There's one road that goes north and south. Yeah. It's a Friday. He's just 0 for 3, and he's like, you know what? I'll take it. I'll go. So appointments at like 5:30 or 6 on a Friday. Turns around, drives all the way back north. This seller had a bunch of meetings on Monday. Meets with the seller. It's going to be one of our, awesome deal. One of our better deals of the year because he was willing to do that extra. So you look at that and you're like, yes. Same weekend, we worked the MLS too. We had an agent send a 5,000 higher counter. And team member that was in charge of that one, busy weekend, didn't get to it. I think it came back on Saturday. On Sunday, counter withdrawal, we got a better offer, lost out on the deal. Now, this one we got lucky. The offer actually wound up not working out. They did come back to us, and we did wind up successfully moving the deal. So that one was a all's well that ends well. But, looking at all of those together, it's like, wow. But that, I realized, so I'm moving through timeline on this a little bit. So we're I'm going company timeline, but we're just going to skip ahead for a second to now. One thing that I've seen in the market of today is the market of the today rewards the excellent operators. Leon, one of your CG guys, one of your Pardon the Disruption guys, one of my favorite people on earth. He and I were talking about this, and he's seen similar trends across the nation. That the big excellent operators are, and I mean, keep in mind when I say excellent operators, we all still have our troubles, right? Like Rob and I sometimes will say to each other, sometimes I swear we're successful despite ourselves rather than because of ourselves, right? So we're definitely not perfect, but the people that are operating over on a high level are having the best years that they have, and the people that are operating lower level are really struggling right now. And those are just a couple examples of almost every deal we get is within inches, right? We were an inch higher and we got a great deal. We were an inch lower and there's no way we got the deal.
I kind of liken this right now, and it sucks for someone that's newer. It's not an inspiring message.
You and I are good at that sometimes.
Yeah.
It's why we don't have like the best podcasts out there, is because sometimes we do a little too much like not the inspiring message, but this is the stuff that's actually going to make it work.
Yeah, this is what's real.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at like running a wholesaling business. It's kind of like the Miami Heat last year in the finals against the Nuggets, right? You can win a game.
Yeah.
You can win a game. But look,
Jokic.
you got to have the lead manager on point, got to answer the call as it comes in.
Yep.
If you don't answer the call, you got to get back to them within like 3 minutes, not 5 minutes. Forget the 5-minute rule, like 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You got to sell the appointment, and the acquisition manager go out there and actually work the appointment the right way with the right numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That with the right numbers is huge. That's been I talked about refining each part of the business. That's been one of the biggest and best things that we've refined this year.
Yeah.
The top, and sorry to interrupt you, having the best numbers, and I actually just argued with Cody Hoffheim and Mark Stubler about this at the event I was at last week, because they're on team numbers don't matter. I'm on team numbers do matter. Especially when you're competing, he who's most confident wins.
Yeah.
When you've got multiple people in there, he who actually knows what they can pay and move it for wins. And I actually believe getting good at numbers has been one of our biggest.
confidence is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with the right numbers, and then having the TC maintain a good relationship with the homeowner this whole time, and having the dispo manager do a decent job of moving the property, having conversations with the best potential buyers for that deal. And that's assuming everything goes right there. And if you don't answer it, having this follow-up, you talk about 19 follow-up touches, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, this is the Miami Heat. Like, you have to have everyone, everything on point. You have to play the perfect game.
Right.
If you want to make it right now, right? If you're going to play, the imperfect game, you're going to get beat by a better operator. I believe right now, not to say that you couldn't do it. Like if solo operator that's running lean, they can crush it right now. But this guy that's trying to go from like 2-person team to I want to have a bigger company, there are so many things that have to go right.
Right. Because the market is the 1 seed right now, right? And we're still the 8 seed. And we're proud of what we've done, but we're still the 8 seed. And ultimately, what's driving that is inventory. So if this was a presentation, I'd pull up my graph of what inventory's done for the last little bit. And you can see like inventory nationwide is down like 20 to 30, as much as in markets like yours can be as much as like 40% down. Now, when I say inventory, that means total number of sellers that choose to sell a house, right? Here's the thing about our business. We only make money when a seller chooses to sell a house. And if you have a third less of those sellers choosing to sell a house,
opting out of the market, or 2/3 opting out of the market.
That plays a big effect. Now, again, on a podcast, you can come back and say, oh, but motivated sellers are different. And that's true. Like realtors are definitely getting hit harder than us. But this is why I think my investor machine list has performed so well, is because we are so motivation centric. We're finding the people that have to sell, because the ones that we lost are the upgraders. It used to be like, my home's a little bit of a dump. I'm going to go buy a home just like mine 5 streets away, and now I'll have a shiny new house. Problem with that, you buy the exact same house next door, your monthly payment just doubled because of the difference in interest rate. So all of those people are choosing to stay.
If you enjoyed what you just watched, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss another video.